Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? Who is ready for 2023? But before we get to 2023, we got to go over 2022. We're about an hour and a half away. We got some time to go over my top moments of 2022. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How you doing? How you doing? I'm not expecting a lot of people to be here live tonight. I know people are out there celebrating the New Year's with their families, with their friends. So I'm not going to be too long here tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I might be asleep by probably, I don't know. Usually, I'll tell you, the last like 3 years, I've been in bed before midnight. I don't know. Can I break that streak? I'm not quite sure. But I won't be here long tonight. Just going to do this real quick. Going to go over my top 10 moments of 2022. It's been a really fun year. There's been a lot that's happened in baseball this year. And there's just been a lot that's happened just in life in general. The channel has really grown this past year. Man, we've gotten a ton of new members, a ton of new subscribers. We've had just a blast here. I got to go hang out with other baseball YouTubers in North Carolina. Got to play some actual baseball against some pro teams, going up against the Burlington Sock Puppets. That was just a ton of fun. Got to hang out with guys like Giraffe Neck Mark. You got Stark Raving Sports there, Wardy NYM. That was a great time. That was an awesome time meeting all those guys. We just had so many things happen during this baseball season. A lot of fun moments. Not very fun as a Red Sox fan, but just in general, baseball was awesome. The playoffs were awesome. Free agency has been really fun this offseason. Man, even go back to the offseason last year. We did have the lockout, but once that lockout ended, it was incredible how, the whole free agency period, once the lockout was over, was just an incredibly fun time. There was just too much to keep track of. Everything was just happening so quickly. And it was, man, a lot of fun moments this year. And I'm going to go over my top 10. But everyone, I do want to thank all of you for an incredible year. 2022 has been an awesome year for this channel. We just hit the 3-year anniversary of this channel back on December 10th. So, hey, gonna keep going strong here on this channel for 2023. But I'm gonna go over my top 10 moments. But just in case, if there is anyone new, think about subscribing down below. If you are catching the replay of this, if you can, if you're here live with us, hit that like button for us. And if you're catching the replay, hit that like button for us. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live. Even if I go live on New Year's Eve, you'll know if you hit that bell notification. Share the stream if you can. Try and get a couple more people in here. And before I do really dive into everything, I just want to go over tonight's sponsor, and that is Bet Online. Basketball is back, and Bet Online remains your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, or even golf. Head to BetOnline to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. Enough of my rambling. Let's get to my top 10 moments. And before I do get started, we got to get the music going. And if you are watching the replay of this on YouTube, don't forget, you can always listen to this wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whether that's Spotify, Google, Stitcher, wherever. So remember, this is now in podcast form. So let's get to it, everyone. Let's get to it. The music is ready. Here we go. And also, actually, before I do get started, we got a super chat from Michael Yench. I think everyone knows my favorite moment of 2022. knocking out the Dodgers in the playoffs. That was pretty fun, man. I mean, the Dodgers were such a powerhouse this year, such a good team, and the Padres just got on fire in the playoffs, man, beating the Mets, taking out the Dodgers. You gotta love it. And we also have a couple of members renewing, and both of them have now renewed for 12 months. Conman752 and William Fulgham, 2 longtime supporters of the channel. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And Michael Yench, love you, man. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. So let's get to it here. Coming in at number 10, I have Kevin Kiermaier's walk-off home run against the Red Sox. Why is this a moment for me? Why is this a top 10 moment for me? I mean, you're probably thinking this wasn't the most significant or one of the most significant events of the year, but I was at this game. The Rays had a no-hitter going in this game. The Red Sox had no hits. This went to extra innings. It was a scoreless game. It was a nail-biter of a game. The Red Sox, in the 10th inning, scored 2 runs. You had Bobby Dahlbeck, because remember, you have the runner on second base. So Jackie Bradley Jr. was on second base. Bobby Dahlbeck hit a triple in the top of the 10th, scored Jackie Bradley Jr. Christian Vasquez had the sac fly to bring in Bobby Dahlbeck. That made it 2-0. Looked like it was in the bag. Hansel Robles got 2 strikeouts, and then he balked a guy, right? Or he balked on a guy. So after that, Hansel Robles just completely fell apart. And then Trevor Story had a throwing error that scored a run. And then Kevin Kiermaier came up, walk-off home run. I mean, why is that, as a Red Sox fan? No, that's not a favorite moment. But just being at this game, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was with my best friend Josh. We were having a great time. I mean, I've been to so many heartbreakers at Tropicana Field. Like, it's basically bad luck going to this stadium for me. I don't even remember the last time the Red Sox won a game when I went to Tropicana Field, but it was just a memorable night for me personally, just seeing the Rays fans going crazy. I remember Josh, he took my phone, he was recording everything, he put the camera on me. I'm just sitting there in defeat, basically. And then this other guy in the stands, he ended up taking the phone and, did like a selfie, had like doing like a selfie cam saying bye-bye, saying bye-bye to the Red Sox fans. It was just a fun time. It was just a really memorable moment for me personally. But what a game this was. The Rays had a no-hitter. They had a full 9-inning no-hitter. Like, that's pretty crazy. The Red Sox scoring 2 in the 10th, and then you had the rally there in the bottom half of the inning. Kevin Kiermaier with the walk-off. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, what else is there to say? For me, this makes my list because I was there. It was just a very memorable moment for me. And honestly, if you're a Rays fan, I mean, what an exciting game this was if you were a Rays fan. So, Jake Larson has become an all-star. Jake, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. Do really appreciate that. Let's move on to number 9. So we're going to have a bit of a string here of I'm a sucker for a comeback. I'm a sucker for those big comebacks in a game, walk-offs in a game. We had tons of walk-offs this year. I mean, obviously, you could sit here and you can go over just so many of them. I mean, there's just too many moments in the season. So remember, this is just top 10 for me personally. I'm not saying these are the top 10 moments, this is it. Everyone else is going to have their own opinions of what their top moments were in a season. These are just mine. But I am a sucker for comebacks, and I got a string of them here. So coming in at number 9, we got the Royals scoring 11 in the 6th inning versus the Seattle Mariners. I mean, my goodness. What a comeback this was. Let's just take a look at this. Taking a look here. So the Mariners were absolutely just beating up on the Royals in this game. This was what? This was in September 25th, right near the end of the season. The Mariners, they had an 11-2 lead in this game. They scored 8 runs in the 5th inning, and then they scored 2 more in the 6th. And here come the Royals in the 11th inning, in the 6th inning. They scored 11 runs. in the 6th inning. I mean, absolutely just crazy. Let's just go over this. Michael Massey had the 2-run homer. Melendez had the ground out. That scored their 5th run. Bobby Wick Jr., he scored 2 on a double. And then Edward Alvarez, he had a base hit. That made it 11-8. Then Michael Massey came up again. That was the second time coming up in the inning. He had another base hit. That scored 2 more. And then Ryan O'Hearn had the double. And that scored a couple more. And that gave the Royals the lead. And then Hunter Dozier ended up having the base hit that made it 13-11. Crazy how many runs were scored there in the 5th and the 6th innings. In those 2 innings combined, you had 21 runs scored in just those 2 innings. That is incredible. And then the Royals bullpen was able to keep the game intact, and they ended up winning this game. Absolutely, what an incredible game that was. What an incredible comeback. I mean, I'm just saying, and especially the Mariners, you know, going to the playoffs this year, and the Royals just weren't really all that great this year. But, hey, I thought that was really exciting. Huge inning for the Kansas City Royals. Not a great season, but pretty good moment for the Kansas City Royals. I take that back. Not just pretty good, a very good moment. My goodness, if you were at that game, you're a Royals fan, you're probably thinking, man, what a game I just saw. Here we go. Let's go to number 8. We have another comeback here, and this involves the Mets and the Phillies. The Mets scoring 7 in the 9th. Absolutely incredible. And actually, really quick, before I do get to this one, I want to just go over one thing here. With that Mariners and Royals game, the Mariners had, at one point, a 100% chance to win this game. A 100% chance. My goodness. And they ended up blowing it, man. They ended up blowing it. But let's go to the Mets and the Phillies. This was very exciting. This was very early on in the season. Remember the Phillies in the early goings? They were having a lot of troubles in the early goings of the season. Joe Girardi ended up getting fired. But the Mets, they got off to an incredibly hot start. And, man, this was quite the moment. They were down 8-1, or they were down 8-2 in the 9th inning. And they just had a rally for the ages, man. This was their biggest comeback in 25 years. So if I were to go here, you know, the Phillies at one point, they led this game 7-0. And the Mets scored 1 in the 6th, so it was 7-1. But, man, oh, man, let's go here to the 9th inning, shall we? So going to the 9th inning, it started off with Francisco Lindor. He had the home run. Starling Marte ended up coming around to score, so that made it 7-3. Mark Canha had the base hit. That made it 7-4. Pete Alonso scored. J.D. Davis had a double. That scored Jeff McNeil. And then Canha moved over to third, so that made it 7-5. Brandon Nimmo had the base hit. That ended up tying it. And then Starling Marte had the double, and that ended up giving the Mets the lead and ultimately the win. This was, to me, a bit of a statement from the Mets. I mean, yes, the Mets ended up, you know, getting knocked out in the playoffs, but this was kind of like their statement here. They were basically, hey, you know, we're here. You know, we're going to be a good team this year. This was kind of like that. This was the kind of that win to me that kind of gave them that personality, if you know what I mean. They kind of gave them an edge a little bit where, you know, we've seen the Mets just completely fold in the past. You know, you don't ever see the Mets, you know, have comebacks like this. You know, 25 years, you know, the biggest comeback in 25 years. So to me, I just think that around this time, this was just a really exciting time for Mets fans. And I remember the power rankings that year. It was, that week. And it was, you know, the Mets fans, you know, Wardy NYM, he was going crazy over on his channel. I mean, this was just an incredibly fun game. And again, I just remember talking about it on the power rankings. It was a huge win, man. Huge win. And definitely, I think, one of the top moments of the season. Conman752 with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Conman. Top 2 for me are the Orioles scoring 3 runs on 4 straight hits, and each at bat was with 2 outs, 2 strikes. 2 strikes. Mancini with the walk-off, and then Mancini's inside the park home run. Off the outfielder's face. I miss Trey. Yeah, man. Trey Mancini. Hey, rumors are that maybe him and the Cubs could be nearing a deal. Orioles, I definitely think they're not going to be on my list here. but they definitely deserve a lot of credit for this year. They had themselves a really fun season. They didn't make my top 10 list necessarily. You guys can already hear. I'm ready for bed soon. I'm getting tired over here, man. But yeah, the Orioles, definitely one of the best parts of this entire season. Con man, hey, hoping for good things for you next season, my friend. Well, I'm hoping for better things for my Red Sox, but we'll have to wait and see how it all goes. Con man, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all your support this year. But here we go. Let's move on to number 7. We got another comeback, and to me, I mean, we do have one more comeback on this list, but this one was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And one man did most of the damage. And this was, wow, we have a typo here on the graphic. This is supposed to be Josh Naylor, not Josh Baylor. Come on, autocorrect. You're killing me. Josh Naylor leads the comeback. What a comeback this was for the Guardians, man. What a comeback. My goodness. Josh Naylor was out of his mind in this game. They had a 6-run comeback in the 9th inning. The White Sox had themselves quite the lead, 9-3, and the Guardians ended up scoring 6 in the top of the 9th on the road. A 3-run home run from Naylor to tie the game. And then in the end, Cleveland ended up scoring 3 in the 11th, and that was all she wrote. Naylor had himself a grand slam to tie the game. He had a grand slam and then eventually had the game-winning home run. My goodness, he had a game for the ages, man. Let's go take a look at the box score here. Naylor had 8 RBIs in this game. He went 3 for 5, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. That is incredible. This was just an incredibly exciting comeback. I mean, you don't, especially off of Liam Hendricks, he got the game-tying grand slam. That was just nuts, man. And then he had the bomb in the 11th as well. I mean, you got to be kidding me. That is just absolutely crazy. Who did he hit that off of? He hit that off of who was pitching? I don't remember who was pitching. Let me actually go to the box score here, because Hendricks gave it up in the 9th. So that was Burr, right? So yeah, Burr was pitching, and he ended up giving up the home run to Naylor there. But this was kind of like this to me, I don't know, whenever, I feel like every team, they always have like a moment like this during a season where they just have like just a gritty comeback win. I remember the Red Sox, back in like 2013, they had a huge comeback that year. They had in 2007, they had the Mother's Day Miracle. 2013, I believe they were playing the Indians, I think. I think they ended up scoring like 6 or 7 in the 9th inning. And then, man, 2018, there was definitely a couple of comeback wins there. 2004, they had a couple of crazy wins. They had the Bill Miller, the brawl game with Veritek and A-Rod. Bill Miller ended up hitting the walk-off home run off of Mariano Rivera. But teams that are usually successful, they always have like some kind of a win like this, like just a huge comeback win. It really showed a lot about this Guardians team, and in the end, the Guardians ended up winning the division. So this to me, man, Josh Naylor, I wish he was a little bit more healthy this year. He did miss some time, but I'm excited to see what he can do next season. So let's get to it here. Let's get to it. So that was number 7. We're moving on to number 6. And at number 6, we actually have not really something that happened on the field. This, to me, I think is one of the more, you could say this is the most memorable trade of all time. Juan Soto getting traded to the Padres. I mean, this was like a huge moment. I mean, I don't think people realize like how big of a trade this was. And here we go. On baseball trade values, if you take a look here, Juan Soto, I mean, you could say he's probably the high. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but I think he could be the highest valued player ever traded. I'm not sure about, because I mean, baseball trade values was only created back in 2019. So I definitely could be wrong about that, but when you think of how young he is and the type of player that he is, he's an absolute unicorn. Juan Soto cost a boatload. Look at the return that went back to the Padres. You got C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassel III. You got James Wood. You also got Luke Voit in here too. And you also got a picture in Susana. That was a huge get for the Padres. They got a massive package. I remember thinking there was a chance he could have gone to the Cardinals, but in the end, they took the deal from the Padres. The Padres had, I think, a bit more depth to deal, and in the end, I think that just ended up winning it out. The Cardinals, they definitely had some pieces, but I don't think they were willing to give up that many pieces, where the Padres are just all in. I mean, the Nationals, they got, man, it's crazy where, well, actually, hold on a second. Why is this? I don't know why this trade is written this way. Sorry, I'm like looking at it. It's like backwards for some reason here. But the Nationals ended up getting this package. I don't know why my brain is not working tonight. My brain is not working. But the Nationals, the package that they got back in this deal, this completely fixed their farm. It completely revamped their farm system. They were near the bottom when it came to the farm system rankings. And now they're a top 15 farm just because of this package. I mean, this is crazy. You got C.J. Abrams, who's going to be your shortstop for the next how many years. Mackenzie Gore could end up just being your ace in the rotation. You get a pretty decent looking rotation now, young rotation with Mackenzie Gore, Cade Cavalli, Josiah Gray. They got some arms there. We'll have to wait and see how it ends up going. And James Wood played really well for them down the stretch. And you got a great hitter in Robert Hassel III. Great package. Susana, has a lot of upside. We'll have to see what he ends up turning out to be. But in the end, and then don't forget also, the Padres, they ended up getting Josh Bell too. So he was the forgotten throw-in in this deal. But Juan Soto, only time will tell if he ends up staying with the Padres long term. I know the Padres definitely want to try and work something out with him. We're going to have to wait and see how that turns out. What a bummer that would be if the Padres are not able to extend him long term. They just had to give up this huge package. Hopefully they can win a World Series, during that time. Could you imagine if the Padres don't win a championship and then Juan Soto ends up leaving? Oh, that'd be kind of brutal to me if you're a Padres fan. But man, oh man. When I just look back at this trade, I remember I was working when this trade went down. I remember because I'm a teacher, it was my first day back to work at the trade deadline. It was August 2nd. So it got pushed back a little bit because of the lockout. So I ended up going back to work that day. And so I was not able to go live for this. I went live that night to talk about it, but it was just an absolutely insane moment. When it comes to just all-time trades, we've had blockbuster trades in the past, but this to me is definitely up there as one of the biggest trades of all time. So let's get to our next moment here. We're entering the top 5. I mean, this list cannot be without this player. I mean, just what a season he had. A historic season. Absolutely insane. I mean, this is one of the best seasons of all time for a player in Major League Baseball. So at number 5, I just have Aaron Judge. I don't have one particular moment. I didn't even put his 60-second home run. I'm just putting Aaron Judge as a whole. This guy was just absolutely incredible this year. Ended up going back to the Yankees this offseason, signing a 9-year deal. But Aaron Judge this year was just an absolute force. I mean, I've talked about the numbers until I'm blue in the face, but let's just talk about them one more time because they're just so good to look at. Hit 311, a 425 on base, a 686 slugging, the 207 WRC plus, 62 home runs, not too bad if you ask me. Had a pretty good year in the field as well. And overall, he had an 11.4 Fangraph WAR. But Aaron Judge, he carried the Yankees offense down the stretch. That Yankees offense really slumped. He was the one constant for the Yankees the entire year. In the end, the Yankees ended up getting knocked out by the Astros in the ALCS. Judge didn't have the postseason that you thought he would probably end up having, but in the end, man, it was just a historic season, hitting his 62nd home run in Texas. What else is there to say? Aaron Judge was definitely one of the best moments in Major League Baseball this year. He was just the one guy, winning the MVP as well, of course, unanimous decision. I can't believe that people, sorry, like, I'm probably going to, offend some people here, but I still can't believe people thought Ohtani was the MVP. I'm sorry. Like, Aaron Judge was clearly the MVP this year. Like, Ohtani was amazing. He will always be amazing. I mean, you can't take anything away. Aaron Judge was clearly the MVP. I mean, not even a question to me. A historic season, right? So it's not very often you have a guy that just breaks the American League record for home runs. So, yeah. Anyway, but Aaron Judge, definitely one of my my favorite parts of 2022. And that's crazy to say, considering he's on the Yankees. But what can you do? He was that fun this year. He was that fun. I had a couple of walk-offs this year as well. So he definitely had some late-inning drama for the Yankees. But let's get into number 4. We're going to start to get into some playoff moments here. Maybe they're a little higher on this list because they have, the playoff advantage, The best moments usually come in the postseason. I mean, sure, you have some amazing moments in the regular season as well, but when we're thinking postseason, these are the moments that we all look for. Legends are made in the postseason, so I definitely have a few here that came in the playoffs. Coming in at number 4, we got Bryce Harper's Game 6 home run. My goodness, absolutely insane. The Padres were down 3-1. They were looking like they were going to be coming back and winning this game. They scored a couple there in the 7th inning. They were down 2-1. They came back, put a couple on the board in the 7th. But then here comes Bryce Harper in the bottom of the 8th. Hits an absolute laser, oppo field. Philly fans were going absolutely nuts. I got to give credit here to to all the Philly fans, man. You guys were just amazing during the postseason. You had so much energy in the postseason. It was great to see, seeing all, people just waving the towels, people just going crazy. The place was shaking, right? I mean, I wasn't there, but you could just tell. Everyone was just on their feet, for the Phillies in the playoffs. The Philly fans, they really showed up, and that was fun to watch, just seeing the place just going crazy. But Bryce Harper, man, he had a postseason for the ages. He was on fire in this postseason, and just having that moment, finally having his postseason moment, and hey, this ended up being the home run that sent them to the World Series. You gotta love it. Bryce Harper, the Game 5 home run for the Philadelphia Phillies. Here we go, coming in at number 3. We got another postseason moment here. This was awesome. I was watching it live with all of you at home. YORDAN ALVAREZ with the home run in Game 6. Man, oh man, he absolutely hit a tater tot off Jose Alvarado. That was incredibly fun to watch. I know a lot of people, they don't like the Astros very much, but whatever. This was an incredible moment. I was happy for the Astros. I mean, you could put in a few moments here with the Astros. Dusty Baker winning his first World Series. But the YORDAN ALVAREZ home run to me was just awesome. Came in the 6th inning. I mean, man. I mean, for the Phillies fans, it was tough to watch if you were a Philly fan. But the Astros, YORDAN ALVAREZ, that was just an absolute bomb. And he came in, and Jose Alvarado, it was kind of one of those things where YORDAN ALVAREZ hit lefties better, right? He was really good against lefties this year. I think you would have had a better shot, maybe going like a David Robertson in that spot. But hey, what can you do? Framber Valdez, he pitched his butt off in this game. Framber Valdez was amazing in the postseason. Justin Verlander finally coming through in the postseason when it counted. But the Astros, hey, they got the monkey off their back with the whole cheating scandal. In the end, I think it was just great for them, the organization, to just to win one, you know, not having that cloud over their head. You know, people won't forget about the cheating scandal moving forward, but I think people can, for the most part, can move on, you know, from that whole thing, because, hey, they won it. So it is what it is. But that moment when Alvarez hit that, I went crazy. You could actually, I have a short on that. If you go to my shorts, you can see the reaction to it. So that was a really fun moment. Absolutely love that. At number two, hey, Aaron Judge, he was fun to watch this year, but in my opinion, I think we can all agree. I mean, listen, Aaron Judge had a historic season and an amazing season, but I think we were all pretty, we were keeping our eye on another player, especially in the second half of the year. I mean, yeah, we were all waiting to see if Aaron Judge could break Roger Maris's record, but we were all waiting to see what Albert Pujols could do, and he had himself just an amazing season, his last season. So at number two, I got Albert Pujols. No moments in general. I mean, sure, hitting 700 was amazing, but just Albert Pujols this year was just so fun. And what a season he had. What a season he had. I mean, look at the season that he had. His last year, 42 years old. And don't forget, you know, he had quite a few good moments with the Cardinals as well this year. You know, obviously hitting 700. But when you go back, his I believe it was like his fifth or sixth at bat with the Cardinals. I can't remember how many at bats he had. But yeah, he got off to a pretty quick start when it came to homering at Busch Stadium. So it was pretty cool to see just what he was able to do. He was insane. Over 109 games, he hit 270 with a 345 on base, a 550 slugging, a 151 WRC plus, 24 home runs. I mean, we can go take a look here at the second half versus the first half. In the first half, he wasn't really doing all that much. He hit 215 in the first half. He had 6 home runs and 20 RBIs. But then, and that was over 53 games. In the second half, over 56 games, so right around the same amount of games, only a few more at-bats. He hit 323 with 18 homers and 48 RBIs down the stretch. He was nuts, man. He was basically the only thing he was the only guy that was really hitting for the Cardinals at the end of the season. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, they went completely cold. Albert Pujols was red hot going down the stretch. It was a lot of fun, man. People were going crazy. Draftnik Mark, he got to go see his 700th home run at Dodger Stadium. An incredibly fun season for Pujols. And it was just great to see, you know, him go out in this way. So Albert Pujols comes in at number 2 for me. Let's get to number 1, shall we? Let's get to number 1. I think a lot of people have forgotten about this because I think people for the most part just want to forget about this moment. But to me, it was an incredible moment of 2022. The whole event itself was extremely forgettable, but my top moment of this year was the lockout ending. When the lockout came to an end, I was so happy. Like, I just couldn't wait for baseball to come back. You know, you knew the lockout was going to end. You knew the lockout was going to be over eventually. But when it did, it was just such an exciting time. Everyone was just so happy. Baseball fans really came together during this time. And it was just a saga, man. Like, going back and forth, you know, the owners and the players, you know, the owners locked out the players because they were thinking, okay, this is going to kind of, you know, get the negotiations going. But it took them a little while to make their first offer. But, you know, I think there were a lot of wrongdoings on both sides. You know, towards the end, it looked like the owners, the owners were starting to look like the good guys at one point because the players just kept, like, really rejecting some pretty good offers in the end. The owners definitely, they were a little sluggish in the beginning. I think they definitely deserved a lot of criticism in the early goings, but I feel like the players, people started to actually turn on the players towards the end because, well, Scott Boras was kind of one of these guys that were, he was kind of creating a bit of a divide, I would say. And in the end, it got done. And when it did, I still remember the stream. I remember we had like, I don't know how many people we had in that stream. I think we had like 800 people. I can't remember. It was just an incredibly fun time. There was a lot of blame to go around for the whole thing in the end. But when it happened, it was just awesome, man. Like, I was just so excited. I remember just all the free agents that ended up signing afterwards. It was just a flurry of deals. It was just amazing, man. I remember Bob Nightingale. Remember, we were live. Remember, because we thought the lockout was going to end. And we were live until like 2 in the morning because it looked like a deal was almost going to happen. And then, you know, remember Bob Nightingale? He was out there. You know, I think he brought bagels for everyone. I can't even remember. He brought pizza. I don't remember what the guy did, but everyone fell in love with Bob Nightingale again. He had completely redeemed himself after the whole Trevor Bauer thing the previous offseason. You know, the renaissance of Bob Nightingale was one of the biggest stories of the lockout. It was incredibly funny. It was so good. But the lockout ended up going 99 days. They finally reached a new deal. But in the end, it was an amazing moment for me. The lockout itself obviously was not good. It was not good. But we got baseball back. And hey, I'm just glad it ended up ending because who knows? Who knows? It could have gone into the season. We could have missed some baseball this year. So, thankfully, they got it done. But everyone, those are my top moments. Those are my top moments for this year. I'm going to get out of here. We got about 55 minutes until 2023. Only 54 more minutes of 2022. I'm going to be honest with you. I might be asleep by then. I might be a party pooper, man. I don't know. The last 3 years, I have fallen asleep before midnight. I have fallen asleep. So, can I maybe make it? I don't know. I'm pretty sleepy. I was already messing up some of my words tonight. I don't know what the heck is going on. But everyone, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I just want to thank you for the whole year. You know, it was a really awesome year. We had great growth on the channel. Made some great friends along the way. You know, getting to meet Giraffe Neck Mark and Wardy and Stark Raving Sports and all those other guys that went there, you know, for the, you know, going to North Carolina and, you know, just having a great time and just all of the stories from this past year, doing power rankings every Sunday night, doing all the streams last off season, this off season, going live, you know, when Carlos Correa signed, you know, at like 2 in the morning, when Trevor Story signed with the Red Sox, going live for the lockout with Bob Nightingale. We were on here until like almost 3 in the morning. I'm just thankful, everyone. You know, I don't know what else to say. It's just been an amazing year. And I want to thank all of you. You know, I really mean that. You know, I go to work every day and I come here and do this at night. And, you know, people tell me like, man, how do you do that? How do you work? You know, and then run the channel like at night? How do you do all this? And I'm like, I just really enjoy it. You know, it's just something I enjoy, and I just like being here. I like being here with all of you, and it's been a really cool year just talking about all of, you know, everything that has happened, amazing moments during the season, off-season streams, you know, whatever. I don't care. Just being here and talking with all of you is a really cool thing. So I just want to thank you for everything. Ball Cap Sports is here in the chat. Ball Cap, man. Hey, man. Hey, thank you for everything this year, man. You've been doing great this year as well. Man, amazing progress on your channel as well. I love that we're growing together, man. Like, we're both just getting up there, and we're just, you know, hey, because we're just both having a great time with all of this, man. Baseball is a wonderful thing. Hey, baseball is romantic, right? And it even comes onto YouTube land. So, but everyone, I'm going to get out of here, and I want to thank you again one more time. Thank you for everything for this year. But hey, whatever. 2023 is tomorrow. It's just another day. Just another day. I'll probably be back here tomorrow. There is some stuff to talk about in the baseball world that I haven't really talked about in the last couple of days. I've actually been very busy in the last couple of days. I actually got a new car the other day. So I've been a little preoccupied over here. So, but luckily nothing major has happened. But I will have, some things to talk about tomorrow night. Actually, I might do, I don't know, I might actually maybe do something, maybe like a looking towards 2023 stream, maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll probably be back here tomorrow night. But everyone, thank you for everything. Go have yourself a good night. Go have yourself a good rest of your 2022 and enjoy 2023. We're going to have another great year in 2023. Everyone, have yourself a great night. And as always, I'll talk to you next time.